the United States has deployed a small team of troops to Nigeria following renewed security cooperation between both countries. We are joined now by Dauda Gombe, a security analyst that joins us from Abuja for more on this story. Dauda, thank you so much for joining us. Dauda, can you tell us very quickly, I think let's try to clarify one thing first. What exactly does the deployment of a small U.S. team to Nigeria involve, and how does Washington define this mandate on Nigerian soil?
Thank you so much for having me this afternoon. And quickly, I think from Washington's point of view, this is a step forward in their effort to quench or to bring an end to the so-called Christian genocide in Nigeria in a mutual and respectable manner. Because if you look at it, this follows a series of engagement between the Nigerian government and the U.S. government, whereby the last time the National Security Advisor led a team to United States, and recently the Undersecretary of United States, she was in Nigeria with her delegation, where they have a series of engagement, and after that, we come to heard about this deployment of small team of possibly experts who will support Nigeria in areas of training, mentoring, and other things on how best to deal with the issue of terrorism and perhaps the bigger picture of the term Christian genocide in Nigeria.
Now, in terms of the scope and as well the limits, are these U.S. troops engaged strictly in advising and, of course, intelligence, or are they also permitted to have operational and combat responsibilities?
So far, so good. This is not yet clear based on the information that is out, but what we expect and anticipate and hoping that this team will have a restricted engagement. They will be only on Nigerian soil for them to provide support in terms of technical capacity,
right,
to build, guide, and help Nigerian troops to be able to, adequately tackle the security challenges facing the country. But we hope sooner than later, the Nigerian government, especially Office of the National Security Advisor, may make a release to clarify these issues, because these are one of the challenges Nigerians are always talking about, especially with the recent engagement with the U.S. If you look at the way it's happening, it's like U.S. are more interested than us, because all the time it's U.S. that first will release the information before Nigerian government will now come out and make clarification, which in the best interest of the country, this is not how it's supposed.
Right.
It's supposed to be the Nigerian that will first release such information, and then we now hear from the U.S.
So my next question was actually going to the limited information that is being distributed to the public. Why do you think that is, that in terms of access to information and reporting, Nigerians tend to hear about this information from the United States instead of Nigeria first? Why is there that disconnect?
I think this disconnect has to do with the way Nigerian leadership are handling the information. Even though we understand security information are very sensitive, we need to be mindful, we need to be careful how we treat it, how we share it. But at the same time, it is a responsibility of the Nigerian government to make things clear to its citizens, especially when dealing with things like has to do with the United States, when many people do not have trust, do not have belief, and haven't so many thought about why even the troops in Nigeria, even though this is a normal routine thing, is just for us looking at it in a political way, that is, they are just trying to make, noise and other thing. But this may have been happening for long in terms of bilateral agreement to have troops coming to train, to have your troops going there to learn and other things. But I think it's a responsibility, and we need to push forward to make Nigerian government realize the implication of always coming up late with information. They need to be careful. They need to treat Nigerians with all dignity. They need to share information that are not accessible, just information that, yes, we have agreed that the first troop of 50 soldiers, including 5 will spend so months training, and that's all. You don't need to tell where they will stay. You don't need to tell who their names and all that, but at least basic information for somebody to have a kind of relief, for somebody to have a kind of, assurance that something is happening for his own betterment in terms of security and peace in the land.
Right. Security analyst Dauda Gombe, thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you so much.
In full.
Good morning. Welcome to Washington. We're glad you're here. This is very important ministerial on a topic that I think we've been talking about quite a bit over the last year and a half. It's great importance to all of our nations, and we're very honored that all of you would join us here today. We have a great agenda and a lot of work ahead. This is an issue of incredible importance to this administration, and it's one of the top priorities of this administration. Thank you, Mr. Vice President. As you saw, I have to put my own sign here, too, so it's another job I have. I'm in charge of the signage. No, thank you all for joining us. I can tell you how honored we truly are that all of you would make the trip to be a part of this on such an important topic. And I want to thank the Vice President for coming this morning. I thought it was important to hear from him because it's a priority for this administration at the highest order, as it is, I know, a priority for many of our partners. And our hope is to use both this forum and our position here today to serve as a convener on what really is an international problem, an international situation or an international issue that needs multilateral international solutions. I don't need to explain to anybody here that critical minerals are vital to the devices that we use every single day. They power our infrastructure, our industry, and our national defense, which is something that's not talked about enough, but it's a key part of that. And so our goal is to have a global market that's secure, a global supply that's enduring and is available to everyone, every nation at an affordable price. That's a top priority for this administration. I want to talk briefly about our politics here domestically, or our policies here domestically, primarily to serve as an example or a reminder of what a priority we give this topic. President Trump, from day one in office, has made clear that economic security is national security. So we, for example, following in March, he issued an executive order to accelerate permitting reform, to increase domestic mining, and to build reliable supply chains, both at home and abroad. And we feel like all of you, our friends and our partners, stand to benefit from the secure supply chains that we want to be a big part of building. In October alone, the United States secured over $10 billion in critical mineral agreements across 5 countries. Our friends and partners stand to, in December, for example, we convened stakeholders from around the world at the Pax Silica Summit. And thank you, Jacob, for doing that. It's launching a partnership dedicated to building a resilient silicone supply chain capable of powering a new era of global prosperity. Pax Silica and artificial intelligence may be the future. Still, the future will never come to pass. None of these things are going to be possible unless we rebuild the factories and reopen the mines upon which these technologies depend. And I want to use a case in point from our own history to highlight this. The United States used to produce its own critical minerals and derivative products like rare earth magnets. Back in 1949, miners in Mountain Pass, California, discovered one of the world's richest mineral deposits. By 1952, the United States, we were mining rare earths there, and that discovery sparked a revolution. American scientists and engineers, alongside innovators from many of the countries that are here today, rushed to discover new applications for these minerals. And with these new technologies, ushered in the jet age, we ushered in the space age, we ushered in the computer age. And then we became blinded by the potential of the technologies those metals enabled, but we neglected their importance. Mining is less glamorous than building computers. It's less glamorous than building cars or airplanes. But building computers and cars and airplanes is less glamorous than designing them. As we embrace what was new and glamorous, We allowed, for example, Mountain Pass, and with it most of America's critical mineral industry, to wither and to die so that we could focus on manufacturing. Then we outsourced the manufacturing. And I know this is a story I'm telling, but it's a story many of the advanced economies represented here today understand well. We outsourced the manufacturing so we could focus on designing these goods. And then one day we woke up and we realized we had outsourced our economic security and our very future. We were at the mercy of whoever controlled supply chains for these minerals. So my hope is that we are gathered here today as the first but important step to rectifying this mistake, to bring together our collective talent for innovation where our advantage over rivals is only grown, and to apply it to bringing back manufacturing and reopening mines here in the United States, but also in all the partner nations represented here today. I think it's interesting that about 50 years ago, actually in this very room, ministers from around the world joined then Secretary of State Henry Kissinger for the Washington Energy Conference. That meeting took place during a moment where global energy supplies were concentrated, where markets were distorted, and access to a single critical resource, at that time, of course, being oil, had become a tool of political pressure. That is the world 50 years ago. That meeting led directly to the creation of the International Energy Agency to coordinate among like-minded partners and secure access to energy commodities. And so today, we return 50 years later in the hopes of advancing a bilateral critical minerals framework agreement to the same end on that front. These frameworks are designed to create alternative sources of supply and to protect every single stage of production, from mining to refining and processing to manufacturing. All of these things, protecting them from non-market disruption. They will provide platforms for coordinating policies that ensure all of our citizens can enjoy abundant and affordable access to these critical minerals. And so we stand ready and intend to work with each country here today to find a specialized role that you can play. If you don't have minerals, you can help refine them. And if the countries gathered here include the largest consumers of critical mineral products, who together have the buying power, collectively, have the buying power to build a more resilient and diverse global market. Everyone here has a role to play, and that's why we're so grateful for you coming and being a part of this gathering that I hope will lead to not just more gatherings, but action. The United States stands ready alongside each of you as we enter this new age of shared prosperity and security. And I want to end by saying that while we intend to play a key role and an important role and to use the size and influence of our markets to drive this, this is an international, multilateral effort, and it only works. You can only have diversity and choice in these markets if it is broadly adopted across multiple countries. So this initiative here today may be one that started with us, but this is not solely an American initiative. This must be an international, global initiative with like-minded countries who all have one thing in common. We want to see a diverse supply of critical minerals and a secure and resilient supply chains across the world so all of our economies can prosper without ever having these things be susceptible, at worst case scenario, being used as leverage against us, or any other disruption that could come to the market that would undermine our collective economic security. So thank you all for being a part of this today. We appreciate it very much. Let me now turn, as we'll begin our program here. Minister Hori, I think you're going to start off. So thank you very much for being here today. Thank you all for being a part of this today.
Thank you very much. Mr. Secretary, Your Excellencies and distinguished
Thank
guests,
you all for joining me.
I am Yuel Hori, State Minister for Foreign Affairs of Japan. It is my great honor to address you on behalf of the government of Japan regarding one of the most pressing and crucial issues we collectively face today, critical mineral supply chains. May I begin with thanking our host.
And it's not gathering of Christian, but gathering of energy, which is resources. So I will ask the question, which is the U.S. trip on ground to protect the Christian or to police the resources? That's this question that should have been the headline, but we all know.
The United States has deployed a small team of troops to Nigeria
Small, very
following
small.
renewed security countries. We are joined now by Dauda Gombe, a security analyst that joins us from Abuja for more on this story. Dauda, thank you so much for joining us. Dauda, can you tell us very quickly, I think let's try to clarify one thing first. What exactly does the deployment of a small U.S. team to Nigeria involve, and how does Washington rather define this mandate on the Nigerian soil?
It was just small.
Thank you so much for having me this afternoon. And
as small as
quickly, I
its
think
number is,
from Washington's point of view, this is a step forward in their effort to bring an end the so-called Christian genocide in Nigeria in a mutual and respectable manner. Because if you look at it, this follows a series of engagement between the Nigerian government and the U.S. government, whereby the last time the National Security Advisor came to the United States, recently the Undersecretary of United States, she was in Nigeria with her delegation, where they have a series of engagement, and after that, we come to hear about this deployment of small team of possibly experts who will support Nigeria
What
in areas
is the
of
number of
training, mentoring, and other things on how best to deal with the issue of terrorism and perhaps the bigger picture of the term Christian genocide in Nigeria.
Now, in terms of the scope and as well the limits, are these U.S. troops engaged strictly in advising and, of course, intelligence, or are they also permitted to have operational and combat responsibilities?
So far, so good. This is not yet clear based on the information that is out, but what we expect and anticipate, and hoping that this team will have a restricted engagement. They will be only on Nigerian soil for them to provide support in terms of technical capacity, to build, guide, and help Nigerian troops to be able to, adequately tackle the security challenges facing the country. But we hope sooner than later, the Nigerian government, especially Office of the National Security Advisor, may make a release to clarify these issues, because these are one of the challenges Nigerians are always talking about, especially with the recent engagement with the U.S. If you look at the way it's happening, it's like U.S. are more interested than us, because all the time it's U.S. that first will release the information before Nigerian government will now come out and make clarification, which in the best interest of the country, this is not how it's supposed. It's supposed to be the Nigerian that will release such information, and then we now hear from the U.S.
So my next question was actually going to the limited information that is being distributed to the public. Why do you think that is, that in terms of access to information and reporting, Nigerians tend to hear about this information from the United States instead of Nigeria first? Why is there that disconnect?
I think this disconnect has to do with the way Nigerian leadership are handling the information. Even though we understand security information are very sensitive, we need to be mindful, we need to be careful how we treat it, how we share it. But at the same time, it is a responsibility of the Nigerian government to make things clear to its citizens, especially when dealing with things like has to do with the United States, when many people do not have trust, do not have belief, and haven't so many thought about why even the troops in Nigeria, even though this is normal routine thing, is just for us looking at it in a political way, that is, they are just trying to make noise and other thing, but this may have been happening for long. In terms of bilateral agreement, to have troops coming to train, to have your troops going there to learn and other things. But I think it's a responsibility, and we need to push forward to make Nigerian government realize the implication of always coming up late with information. They need to be careful. They need to treat Nigerians with all dignity. They need to share information that are not accessible, just information that Yes, we have agreed that the first troop of 50 soldiers, including 5 technical, 5 days and that, are coming to Nigerian soil, and they will spend so months training, and that's all. You don't need to tell where they will stay. You don't need to tell who their next basic information for somebody to have a kind of relief, for somebody to have a kind of assurance that something is happening for his own betterment in terms of security and peace in the land.
Right. Security analyst Dauda Gombe, thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you so much.
Well, joining us.
So, Pentagon revealed on Tuesday that a team of U.S. military force is in Nigeria to combat terrorism. The Nigerian news categorized it as a small team. So my question is, how many be small team? Is it 2, 1, 5, 50, 500? I mean, what is it? Why is the number so small that it's not even mentionable? Or, I mean, please, I need help. The development comes after President Donald Trump authorized strikes last December against ISIS terrorists in northwest Nigeria that consigned that the group and other radicalized Islamic militias such as Boko Haram are killing thousands of Christians. So if they cannot put numbers to the small team, then I think we should have a cause to worry or ask questions, other than the fact that are they there to protect the Christian or to police resources. But that's our reality as at today, being the 4th of February 2026, which will be unheard of 3 months ago. So what you start like play is now our reality. So it's a significant moment, a milestone, the next level of our nationhood. Judge Berlusconi, congratulations. You under your supervision, under your watch, under your generation, within your time as a Nigerian, as you are passing by the land of Nigeria, US have successfully have a boot on the ground. This is a dream they've chased for decades. Generations come and gone. They didn't succeed under Judge Berlusconi. Congratulations, you make it happen. You are a supporter of this government, so yes, it's a very significant moment in Nigerian history, a new chapter. Where this goes from here is something we are yet to comprehend. So our country wants to help us to, you say what so your country want to help us to life. I don't understand what you mean. So it's a new dawn, it's a new chapter in the Nigerian story. that we have the US stationed on ground in the name of protecting one, protecting maybe two out of every Nigerian is a Christian. Is that a good argument? Why two are Muslim? Four out of every five Nigerian is very religious. So the United States came to have boots. They used that narrative to have boots on the ground just for the sake of what, one third, two thirds population of the country. Yes, they frame it as fighting terrorism, but history will record, history will remind us, history will tell the next generation that we, under our watch, Judge Ovie, I am telling you, these people have tried so hard without success, but now had it so easy. Kyle, what a history it is. People don't, and I think, George, people actually have not come to time with the reality of this, with what it really means. I think, but to be fair, I think if there's anything like the Nigerian planners, the older men, the class of 66, if I want to narrow it down, they understand the implication, they understand the impact, they understand failure. They are failed because it is under their watch. Tinubu is belong to their generation. They are the one that nurtured Tinubu. So under their watch, they've tried. They've tried for what? Let's put it to the point of since the 1970. Let me start from 1970 because no, I would say from 1960 since the get-go, since we got independent. The Pentagon has been trying to have an office, permanent office in Nigeria. It's a very strategic, not just location to them, but Nigeria is a regional power. Now, just because their foolishness and nonsense never allowed them fully realize that yet. And those who protected it, right? If I want to separate the Tinubu generation from the Buhari, from the Obasanjo generation, the Obasanjo generation did everything they could to make sure that doesn't happen. They did. They went through civil war, Cold War. I mean, what we no see, but they stood their ground. They understand the implication that if the Nigerian state has any chance in realizing their full potential, which is to be a regional power. When people they say Nigeria and a giant of Africa, the black rate trajectory depends on Nigeria. What it means is that Nigeria has what it takes to be a regional powerhouse. And once you are a regional power, you detect what goes on within your region. Just like what the American is doing with what they did with the Monroe Doctrine, and what America Donald Trump is doing again. That's what regional power is. Maybe we even cut about the word power. Being a regional power, you are in charge of who comes in and who goes off that continent. So if Nigeria actually realizes its full potential and even have nuclear weapon to back its military up, nobody will come before anybody step into an inch of the African territory. Nigeria have to be in of approval. And that's the stage the Chinese people want to get to. China immediate goal is to be the regional power to determine who comes in and out of the South Asia. And America understand that if they allow China to realize that dream, they are done. So the The generation that took power from the founding fathers of Nigeria, those young children, you young adults, those men and boys in their late 20s, early 40s, the Yakubu Gowon of today. Make I keep those who were not, well, if I who wants to, the Yakubu one of today, the Obasanjos, the T.Y. Danjumas, the Buharis, the Abdul Salami, the Babangidas. They did everything. They make sacrifice. They withstand every pressure to make sure no foreign troop on Nigerian soil. So Ovie, the blame goes on. Alhaji Tinubu desperation to become the president, and started when he gave us Malam Buhari. Yes, but I think we will not be helping ourselves if we just narrow it to Tinubu's failure. Tinubu only ride on the greed that has already been established that by those that came before him. Well. I'll say, okay, I would totally agree with you. I think Tinubu, if there's any single person to blame, is Tinubu. Yes, it is his greed. Don't even think. I think I should. Don't even extend it to his adventure of bringing Buhari to power. No, Buhari did everything. As lame as the southern Nigerians saw him, at least he protected Nigeria. As far as I'm concerned, he is among the president. I mean, for this, if in my lifetime, let me put it that way, or let me just narrow it down to the Fourth Republic. Since the beginning of the Fourth Republic, he's one of the most. Is the at the top of what patriot is about, or patriotism is about. I think the man is at the top. He shut all the borders down, and he took the beating for it. Buhari's home state was the most bombarded state during his 8 years presidency. Katsina, where Buhari come from, now be this part of the country that was more bombarded by the Nigerian military itself in the name of mistakes. Those are the price that he had to pay for some of the decisions he made. So I will exclude Buhari out of it because they took the war to him and he stood his ground. He never lent an inch of the country to either be ceded away or for a foreign nation to have their boots on ground. No. Obasanjo failed. Obasanjo ceded Bakassi. Bakassi was gone. That is his legacy. That is Nigerian history. And if that is Nigerian history, that is his legacy. Under Tinubu, he sanctioned his own brothers and sisters. He sanctioned Niger. That's something I couldn't believe that he will do. On behalf of external powers. You are not sanctioning Niger for if, say, Niger invade Ghana, or Niger invade Cameroon, or Niger invade Benin, or Niger, misbehave. No. They sanction them because the Western power asks you to. And they can and did ask you to because of your vulnerability, because of the way you came to power at all costs. You had to invent the Christian ticket, Muslim ticket. So if there's any singular person to blame, That's what that is the legacy of Tinubu. This is Tinubu's doing. And again, I mean, this one not be saying that propaganda. No, no. He got his government admitted that yes, we give the intelligence. In fact, we asked them to come. In fact, we provided a space for them to come. Now we go meet them from Pentagon, beg them, say, Oga, please, make una come. Even though they are trying to say na IPOB, now invited the Americans to come. No, the government came out and took charge, as it should be. So even Goodluck Jonathan and Yar'Adua also tried to keep them out. They did. I mean, Goodluck Jonathan had to sacrifice his presidency for that. By saying if his presidency is seeking for power, they don't want any blood of Nigeria. Even though that's one of the most foolish and stupid phrase or statement I've ever heard from a leader. Because hundreds of people were killed before you came to power in the first place. But that's by the way. But he sacrificed power, he sacrificed his presidency, if that's what it takes. Okay, it was not. It was not. It gave room to those terror groups to come in and grow wings. No, I don't think. I don't think. I disagree. I disagree. The terror group did not came to Nigeria under Buhari. They were already in Nigeria. They came in under Obasanjo. That's the beginning. That's the genesis of all these uh, extreme Islamic extremism. And him too now, because of greed of power, he was seeking for third term. And an opportunity for the North to say, hell fucking no, we'll do everything with man to make sure we resist this man. We are going to introduce Sharia. We are going to, I mean, whatever it takes. They just actually matched Obasanjo energy. Because if you remember, now the same arrogance and attitude he used to face with the people. He had to wipe all the people out just to keep the oil company happy, again, to satisfy the foreign power. I mean, this is the history of Nigeria. This is the Yoruba contribution to the Nigerian story in my lifetime. If I'm beginning to analyze the presidency individually and what the people around him and where he came from helped him to contribute, yes. In my lifetime, that is the contribution of the Yoruba race to Nigeria. They gave us two people who are traitor to the Nigerian state. Literally, they are a traitor to the Nigerian state. We have traitors in power. That is what we define. That is what history will remember of Obasanjo and Tinubu administration. That they are ready to do the killing, to sacrifice Nigerians for not just for their selfish interests, but that gave opportunity for the foreign power to do and undo. I mean, during the civil war, the Biafran could have easily asked other countries to come and join them and fight for them. No, they didn't do that. They stood. They say, yes, it is our destiny. It is our life. We die here, and they are still here. Now, so that is a general called Ujuku to the core. A man that lived his training, he lived his truth. He said, under my people, under my watch, my people will be free. But I will do that without compromising what we stand for. Never invite foreign powers to come and fight for them in any form or shape. And these are a group of people who are taking on the mighty states like in Nigeria. Only Boko Haram, now Tinubu no fit fight, you go dey bring foreigners. And that is my history, that is Nigerian history, that is the contribution of every tribe, every region. Yes, the Biafran state carry gun against the Nigerian state for their own freedom. They never compromise what they believe in by trying to align with an enemy. No. I cannot say the same thing for the Arewas. They are also traitors. They could not take power or gain power and sustain power without bringing external actors. Now, it might not be the most powerful state in the world like the American, which the Yoruba people did know. But in bringing foreign militia to come and fight your cause, it's an act of. Yeah. Now, George, if you want to bring Buhari in from that perspective, I agree with you. We are now, they are building a massive undersea embassy in Lagos. What are you thinking? That's a whole story now. That was awarded under Buhari. That was na whole story. Okay. So now Nigeria's history now they try use analyze where we are, because we are in a new era. Nigeria has been forced to move to the next stage. But how this stage will turn out, we'll find out within the next 10 years. Because our election will never be done in the hidden spheres anymore. What am I trying to say? The days whereby candidates will hide their religion is over. That's what this troop on the ground and airstrike means. Because this were carried out on behalf of a religion, a group, a religion's group. So 2027 doesn't matter how they want to tell the story. Democracy is dead, death of democracy. This, that, no. It is Christian versus Muslim. That's what 2027 is going about. And the final judgment, the final decision will be 2031. Because I talked about before, there's nowhere on the planet Earth where you have these two civilizations living side by side without one being in charge. It never happened. Nigeria will not be an exception. The number is too close for them to be dancing around what they classify as a secular way of existence. Allah, you know the world. Somebody has to lead it. A civilization have to be the face of that nation. And I think and that's what is happening. They promised to open it 2028 at OVA. Yeah. They don't know be what is it called? Those see oh my god. uh, George, I don't know where you are. You are I know you are familiar with um individual sovereignty, right? Whereby because what you see happening, right? This capitalism going to another level of extremism, and the socialists are raising their ugly head on one side, going head to head with all this. On the long run, you are going to have bunch of territories because states will still be the dominant power. So you are going to have territories that are self-governed, that are out of reach from the natural states that we see today. Nobody go fit tax them. So if you pay, I don't know if you are paying attention, those regions and territories are being, worked on in the speed that you would never imagine. So the location that is found in the Americans put their embassy in Nigeria, which is what's it they call that place again? What's it they call that? Lekki, waiting. Last, that place will be and would be we had its own sovereignty. In other words, it will be rich. It will be beyond the reach of the average poor Nigerian. So they don't follow the rules and regulation of the Nigerian government. They don't pay tax to the Nigerian government to anybody. They have their own system of governing themselves. They will get their own military, and most of them, their business will be cyber. So if you know get their correct passport or whatever, if you go that place. Uh, then another place within the African continent that I know is Mauritius and Madagascar. You understand? There are some places in Honduras. There are some places in New Zealand. When you go say all these top guys, and then they know government can tax them, they will literally live the way they then fucking wish. But anyway, this is not just at the end. By the time we fully understand what I'm talking about, we don't achieve the singularity where human will be merged with machine and all that kind of shit, good stuff. Anyway, make a note to make a note to go far. Those are a conversation that Nigerians will never even dream to even comprehend, because we see the things say we get AI. We see the dream of AI. Why AI don't they don't finish with AI. So back to the failure of Tinubu and the generation of Nigerians that are alive today. Well, make I not see that are alive. Any adults who is alive today should be ashamed. Any adult that is alive today should be ashamed. Collectively have failed. It doesn't matter where you are located. I don't care if you live in space, but if you identify if anything has you have anything to do with the Nigerian state, Nigeria as a territory, you don't fail. Well, make a note don't say everybody that think like that. Because these are some people's wish, dreams, and all. This is what they live for. This is what they work for. So, congratulations to those that actually wanted this to happen. You cannot be say, I am, my head is fine in my house that I don't know what I'm talking about. So, how can US and Turkey help us together? Not possible. No, no. There's nothing like help us. You are getting you are getting it twisted. Who want to be help us? Who won't help you? Like how? Why they won't help you? Eh? It can't help us. You have to see the role of Turkey in the world that we live in today, George, to understand why Tinubu go perform. Okay? Turkey is emerging as one of the regional power within the Middle Eastern region. They are currently going head to head with Israel. In fact, if there's any war that is ripe that will join the so-called Russia and Ukraine, it's going to be Turkey and Israel, not Israel and Iran. I get that point. That one does start already. But as we move, as we move ahead in this new world, there's going to be a military clash between the Turkey people and the Israeli people, because somebody has to lead the region. So they are imagining. So the role you see Turkey playing in this emerging world order that they are putting together is very significant. They are going to be the military power that we protect the Gaza that we have today, the new territory that they just sell to build real estate. So they are playing very, very pivotal role in today's world, right? But most importantly, the the Muslim tickets, the only country, the only group of people, the only person in this world that can actually, the US will actually listen to in regards the needs to maintain that Muslim Crimson ticket if they have to win is Turkey. If you understand the relationship between France and America, French as usual is in their history. And are very stubborn people than be. So and America doesn't want to listen at all. So they want to put them to where they belong. So Macron is actually the wrong person to speak on behalf of Tinubu for now. Macron has power to negotiate between Tinubu and Washington DC when the Democrats are in power. So seeing Tinubu in Turkey and putting up that classic show when he put up, say, the leap, say he won't fall, is to remind the Muslim world of what happened 2009, 2010, 2011, when Yaradua died and the Christian vice president had to take over the mantle of leadership. That's not just the bad news. The bad news become the man no one go. Right? So what Tinubu display was to let the Muslim world say, come, you guys don't have to give up just because Trump strike us, right? This is business time. We can always negotiate our hard with it. So you guys have to put on your big boys pants and go into forthright negotiation and make sure we return our Muslim ticket in case anything happened to me at all. So even if they want to switch Shetima, it is still going to be a Muslim candidate that will be vice president and I nominate Konkoso. So the role of Turkey and why Tinubu is very, very important. Now people just as usual, we like to complain. Forget my language, Adovie. That is for my security. Just understand, bro. I got you. I get what you're saying. So then they are not going to fight. Yeah, for the Nigerian state. So Turkey is playing a big brother role, right? So the role that the Saudi Arabia and because it's going to be too obvious if you ain't go that route. So he has to go. You know, see, when he come back from Turkey, the way they shaking boys, he be like the person we won't die for Turkey. But again, the obedience will fall for anything. They are the same thing when they do 2023, now that they do. If you pay attention, they are not changing anything. They are doing the same thing. It's just that now Tunubu role is now on the center stage. He's playing his father's role openly. Right? People never understand it. Anyway, that's another day, another conversation. But the opposition are not doing anything. Abi, Ovie, I thought you grew up in the barracks, Mike. I no grow up a barrack. Or two of my brothers were retired military, 2 years so police, but I don't think I've ever wait. Oh, the longest I've stayed in barrack now when I go visit. I go visit person. No visit all my brothers they don't retire from. Okay, I see. No, I they miss. Well, I don't meet one for service. I meet the police guys. So I visited there for barrack. But other than that, I visited some family friends for barracks, or job barracks to be precise. I know a job barrack because I live beside the barrack before. So I know, I know the. That's the closest I've been to. Has anything to do with the uniform? Well, me say I wear uniform at one point, and that's story for another day. So Turkey should not be underestimated though. Turkey don't they are not stop up big time on a whole civilization, so nobody should be surprised. If you look at the country where see they fight or see they strive, these are civilization. Apart from the United States itself, where we say its own history dated just what 300-400 years ago. But I mean, I did look at American history started from the days of the Roman Empire. Because they just they switch locations and now generation just they twist things up. But if you want to just narrowly focus on America, started what 1776 or maybe to few centuries before then when they arrived, which is for 14, early 14th century when they arrived in the Americas. So they are relatively young. What I'm trying to say, Chinese who are on top of their game today, their civilization is still very much there. When they say they adopted Western capitalism with Chinese characteristics, that's the characteristic. The characteristic is their own civilization that they're talking about. Indians are people who've lost everything to colonization. They lost everything, like literally everything except what their civilization. They never lost who they were, their language, so. I mean, it was distorted, but they are patching it up. So that's responsible for where they are today. Then the Orthodox Russian, the Russian today is one of the oldest civilization too, and they are pieces and pieces of steel, very pronounced in this current government that we are seeing. Iran is one of the oldest civilization, the Persian. So and you see where they are today. So America is trying to take them down. That is what they are actually going after, their civilization. They want to be the one that put into it in this era because no this civilization what I just mentioned, right? They were not defeated by the Western civilization, not just this current generation, even dated back to the Roman Empire. They destroyed pretty much every other civilization. The Arab was destroyed, which is pretty much their top was the Ottoman Empire, right? So as they evolved from the Greek to the Romans to the Dutch, the Spaniards, the British, and the Americans, they did everything, but they couldn't. They don't succeed in taking down Iran, Persian, Iran, Chinese, Turkey. Turkey was pretty much the head of the Ottoman Empire. If you want to argue, want to make case at one point. So they also have history. That's why when these people, when they see these people, they argue. Some people say we are the foundation of African American. We are the African. I mean, like you all should shut the fuck up. What you guys should be looking to revive is your civilization. African civilization, black civilization, that's your civilization anywhere you are on this planet Earth. Until one country in that on one part of that continent develop economy and military power, that civilization is done. If there's anything like Africa or black civilization at all. Because we dey fight. This one goes here, I be foundational black Jamaican. I be foundational black India. Like, what the fuck do you think you is? But anyway, that's a conversation for another day. No be today, foreign soldier they come train Nigeria armed force. No, this is different, Abi. This is not business our country. Nigeria has been having a contract, I should even put it, since 1960s with the American or British military for training. Now the other way around, they did the training. Not this one. This one are troop then send come. They no going tell you the amount of people there. Before now, you hear say the American training 1,000 Nigerian military. They fly them out of the country. This is different. This is fucking different. Mona no vessel. I don't know say I mute myself and nobody could even say a word. So this is the first time officially the American troops, England, and the Nigerian leaders in the past have resisted it so many times. This is the very first time that you're having a combat troop on ground. No, they don't come for training, oh. They come fight, oh. They come protect Christians. I don't know, you know, understand? They are here to protect Christians. Yeah, and they are not here to train. They are not here to train Nigerian military. They are here to for combat purposes. Okay, so don't come and confuse us here. Don't come and confuse me. Know what is going on. Abby, Tinubu fuck up. Your uncle fuck up. Just take calm. Just like the Obasanjo fuck up, where he let Bakassi go. You don't fuck your second uncle don't fuck up. They are traitor to the Nigerian state. I don't know why we say na Igbo man they no one trust. Igbo man never invited foreigner to come and fight their cause. They took the gun, but they took the battle by themselves. They took the boom by their own. Shame to the southwestern leaders, and shame to the northern leaders too. Them too, they no fit fight. They no fit contest for power without using foreign militia. They bring Boko Haram and the rest of them come. Shame on you people. Yes, the only patriots we have left in that country now the Southside people. Shout out to Goodluck Jonathan, who refused to give in. Instead, he said, I give up my power than to stand any pressure, than to give any group of people reason to come. Under Tinubu's watch, we say Jonathan we say Jonathan too slow. It too the alcoholic, nothing, no name, they no call him. But under his watch, he protected the territory that was given to him to govern, as it was given to him. But Obasanjo cannot make that claim that he handled Nigeria back the way it was given to him. Territorially, he can't make that claim. To do because of his greed. He has to even level sanction against his neighbor, his own brother. Not for anything, but for his own greed of power. Even to the northern elite, shame on them. Because they know if we come out good law for power, they have to go and invite all manners of useless people to come and fight for their fight. So Abe, una go try, una go explain tire. Say Nigeria, American military, they know the country. No, we understand the contracts then. All right. It's a shame. It's a damn shame.
They will be only on Nigerian soil.
The United States has deployed a small team of troops to Nigeria following renewed security cooperation between both countries. We are joined now by Dauda Gombe, a security analyst that joins us from Abuja for more on this story. Dauda, thank you so much for joining us. Dauda, can you tell us very quickly, I think let's try to clarify one thing first. What exactly does the deployment of a small U.S. team to Nigeria involve, and how does Washington define this mandate on Nigerian soil?
Thank you so much for having me this afternoon. And quickly, I think from Washington point of view, this is a step forward in their effort to quench or to bring an end to the so-called Christian genocide in Nigeria in a mutual and respectable manner. Because if you look at it, this follows a series of engagement between the Nigerian government and the U.S. government, whereby the last time the National Security Advisor led a team to the United States, and recently the Undersecretary of United States, she was in Nigeria with her delegation, where they have a series of engagement, and after that, we come to heard about this deployment of small team of possibly experts who will support Nigeria in areas of training, mentoring, and other things on how best to deal with the issue of terrorism and perhaps the bigger picture of the term Christian genocide in Nigeria.
Now, in terms of the scope and as well the limits, are these U.S. troops engaged strictly in advising and, of course, intelligence, or are they also permitted to have operational and combat responsibilities?
So this is not yet clear based on the information that is out, but what we expect and anticipate and hoping that this team will have a restricted engagement. They will be only on Nigerian technical capacity to build, guide, and help Nigerian troops adequately tackle the security challenges facing the country. But we hope the Office of the National Security Advisor may make a release to clarify these issues. Always talking about, especially with the recent engagement with the U.S. Because all the time that person will
What are novels? Also, Mercy, who's the there? No worry, sorry. What did I call you? Abby, I'm back. Are you still there? Show me a sign. It said, Olivier, where you, where you day? You know, you never reach for how long you won't drive. I know they drive before, just. waiting for the sun to reach a place that I can be comfortable till. I don't know. I lost my video with that, so let me see and try and play another one. I know if we get that one again. Man, fucking beautiful, man. Tantalizing. Remind me of my village. So we were talking about how under Tinubu watch, Nigeria is coexisting with another sovereignty. That's literally what they mean. Anyway, America, they can do and undo. They can do and undo. So, under Tinubu watch, we have two governments, like two legit governments in Nigeria. Like, literally.
Again, the convergence of blockchain and AI. Now, with AI, you can expect within this year, we're going to see deepfake so real. You cannot tell the difference. People watching this on live stream, they will not know what's in here.
We're not here.
We're having dinner somewhere else. So, to counter that, you need some form of digital watermark. That is actually a cryptographic evidence
That you're
this is
real.
real.
Yeah.
It's my signature, his signature.
Who puts that? The tech companies? By the way, they're so excited at the back. They're trading crypto on the back of all these comments.
It's all your fault. No, we control our private key. It's going to be a private public
It'll
key.
be personal.
We'll have control.
It's going to be like your irises, your fingerprints. It'll be a digital.
But it's stored on blockchain,
Yeah. And
witnessed by the global population,
everybody knows.
cannot be
who's who.
faked.
But does this change everything for just capital markets?
It will. Yeah, I mean, my gosh, if we could tokenize bonds and stocks tomorrow, one of the great things that BlackRock is being accused of is how much vote we have. I wouldn't vote anymore because we would be able, through tokenization, to know the owner of record instantaneous, and each owner of record will do their proxy voting. I would love that outcome. No, but it would democratize investing in all ways that we can't imagine.
Even political systems, how you vote in a country.
Yeah.
And do you think that, again, the Trump administration will accelerate that?
I think they're moving that direction. How far they actually will go remains to be seen.
But if you do have a digital validator, like your fingerprints or your irises, I mean, you could tokenize voting. You could do.
Where is my senator? You see him? Okay. Yes. That issue. Peter for Nigeria. Peter for Natasha. Natasha for Nigeria. The princess of the Senate. You are taking your place today. You are a senator. Nobody can remove you. Your people are with you. God is with you. This is the wife of Alan. Hey! Akpabio don't play. Akpabio don't play. And share any. For where? For this country. Akpabio, you lie.
Cool. I don't know if anybody is here because
I say, Akpabio, you are a liar. Natasha must resume. Akpabio, you go hear word. Akpabio, you go hear word. Natasha must resume.
whatever you are doing, let me
Akpabio,
know.
since you want let the revolution start with you, we go reach National Assembly. We are going to that National Assembly.
Not just location.
And Shereni, I say Natasha, we resume today. No woman, no nation. Mama P. Oh, oh God. People they die. Insecurity. You are fighting another woman for 6 months.
Say hi.
Na lie. Na lie. Akpabio, you are a liar. You are not God. Natasha, there is
Why
you.
you hate woman? Who is you?
Where is my distinguished senator? Oh, Mama P. Oh, Tori Olong. Where is Aisha Yesufu? Where is Hajia? Okay.
I don't know. Am I audible? Son. Yeah. It's fine. Can you hear me? Is anybody there that can hear me? Let's have a conversation. try something to see if it's gonna work. Oh shit. How the fuck that shit and what?